let you know when you have 30 seconds, okay?
Very good.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
My name is Sam Herrera. I live at 1145 Old Rochester Road. Here today to speak. I have several topics, but I'm going to try to focus on one. Number one, the formation of a committee recently regarding the historical marker that we've been talking about over the last few weeks, months, frankly. And I find that it's a little odd. It seems like, and I could be totally incorrect, but it just seems a little odd for you specifically, Judge Majors, to be appointed to a committee in which you're, in essence, part of the committee as already, and find it a little unique, along with Mayor Weiler of Sherman, that you guys are now, in essence, what seems to be a hijacking of this movement to put this marker. And it just seems a little disingenuous, quite frankly. I've been called a lot of things in my life. Dumb is not one of them. And it just seems like a tactic to push this effort off when something that is so obvious should have been addressed and put to the side and move on. Instead, this has turned into a much larger topic. And if you think that the one marker that's been requested to be put up here on this property is simply going to go away, I think you've created a landslide of things to come. I speak independently. We're not any formed group of any great organizational structure. However, I think we have a pretty diverse group of folks who live here in Grayson County and are entitled to something that's a little bit more open. I would personally ask you to remove yourself from that committee, also Mayor Fowler, and invite some of the folks who have been in the effort here to lead that charge. To not include that information that's already been gathered, again, it seems very disingenuous. We're watching, all of you. You're responsible to us. We're not responsible to you. That's all I've got.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 2, Ms. Wells. And again, ma'am, if you just state your name and address for the record, and I'll let you know when you have 30 seconds, okay?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
It's Michelle Wells, 1408 Landview Drive. Thank you once again for allowing me to make public comments. I was outraged and shocked last week when the court gave an update regarding the request to place the Texas historical marker regarding the 1930 Sherman Riot on these court grounds. Judge Majors, you announced that 15-person committee will be giving recommendations to this court regarding the marker wording and placement. The Grayson County Historical Commission has already given you their recommendation, but has been ignored for 6 months. Not only was our local historical commission left off this committee, but Melissa Till and our community committee that worked tirelessly on this marker was also left out. We the people deserve more. We the people deserve an answer as to why another committee was created. Why, Judge Majors, did you put yourself on this committee? Why are there no historians on this committee? How is the committee even chosen? And most of all, why don't you do your job and put the marker on the agenda and vote? It doesn't make sense. You insulted our intelligence by setting up another committee and deliberately excluding the year-long efforts that we have put together to meet your expectations or your excuses. We saw last week at this court, this was purely a political game. Judge Majors, you have politicized our history, made a mockery out of the Texas historical marker process. What should have been an easy decision turned into months of stonewalling and excuses. Your actions reflect on the people here and have been continuously embarrassing us, not only locally, but nationally. Why is it that the history of black citizens have been disregarded and used as a political tool? There are 8 markers on the courthouse ground. None of them have been subject to this scrutiny of requirements, political games, as this marker has. Marker after marker detailing Anglo history has been passed with no objections, but when we ask for a marker on a historical event that impacted the black citizens, it turns into a circus.
36, ma'am.
This is a slap in the face to myself and the other people of color. When one of you will stand up and do what's right and represent the people that look like me. We cannot heal from the wounds of our history until we acknowledge it. It is necessary to recognize the past injustice in order for democracy to be possible in the present. We do not want to repeat what happened 91 years ago.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. All right. Reverend Blake.
Amen. Give a lot of praise to God, Father, in Jesus Christ, I believe. Last night I ended up leaving early after the committee was announced, because it had that feel of what I used to read in the history books of how African Americans were done back in the early days. Whenever the issue came up, the Reverend had Mississippi immediately. Committee was formulated whenever it seems that they were starting to lose grip. National attention began to be focused on. And then there was this divide and conquer that they did, always trying to select individuals who are already part of the committee, the group that was part of these committees. And I saw that last week and just had to get up. It's never my intent to insult anyone. Always try to give every man, every woman the respect that they so rightfully deserve. But it seems like when it comes to African Americans, the same thing is not passed on to us. It's a shame that Melissa, one who brought all of this, and all this has been culminated. I know the 1930 committee, but she's one of the primary people to bring all of that about, and then she's blindsided. And isn't even allowed on the committee of 15 people that are supposed to be elected. If this is really gonna be something that's true, I'm not asking anybody. I'm just asking that she be placed on there, because like I said, last week I'm gonna be coming every week because it's not right. For what is happening, and then a different location has the possibility of being selected. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna charge any of your integrity, but it's just something not right. And one of the things as I leave, I'll go close with this. Martin Luther King's letter from Birmingham jail spoke to white clergy who knew that wrong was being done to African Americans and did not say anything. And for him, he said that if you're not saying anything, if you're not trying to do anything to correct it, well, then you're just as much guilty as the individuals who are doing it. I pray that y'all will allow Melissa to reconsider if she has not been placed on there. At least the committee will have a voice that they know and they will trust, and the integrity, because right now, and I'm not just, like I said, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but the committee just has no integrity because of the simple fact of how it was done.
Thank you for your comments, sir.
Thank you.
Joe, I lost your deal when I know you're next. Come on up. Go ahead, sir.
Well, Commissioners, I'm Kurt Chakowski, residing at 1419 West Woodard in Denison. I'd like to offer my thoughts on last week's agenda item 9.6, the non-action pronouncement of a new working group. It was exceedingly surprising because apparently USC to honor this recent Sherman City request after ignoring the continuous one of their own county constituents. What makes this particularly astonishing is we met with Sherman representatives on August 12th, including Mayor Plyer and many of the representatives now appointed to this new working group. And I departed that session understanding Sherman would focus on their efforts on an equal justice initiative marker and associated commemorative events, while we would continue our quest to accurately record the events in erecting a state of Texas historical marker at the courthouse. And nonetheless, I acknowledge how impressive this new working group appears. They are eminent municipal leaders, business managers, religious patriarchs, and for whatever reason deemed necessary to highlight, esteemed officials in one political party. What was missing in your commendations was notice of expertise in historical research or experience in dealing with the convoluted and seemingly disjointed nature of historical events. As already mentioned, I am particularly bewildered by the inclusion of Dutch majors and Mayor Plyler in this working group because in my military experience, even the most junior officer is taught to recognize the appearance of a conflict of interest. Since with the judge's decree, he appointed the members of this group, is serving on it, will take part in forming the recommendations, and will participate in the vote determining the final outcome. The end result might therefore be considered suspect. In addition, I'm perplexed by the non-inclusion of any unbiased member of your county historical commission, for they have the charter to promote and preserve the history of this county. Historically, they provided past commissioners' court's recommendations on the markers to erect on the courthouse grounds, at least for our 8 current markers, as well as for the proposed one. This new working group's efforts will now supersede. Moreover, we recently offered to Attorney Brown and Dr. Hambrick and to Mayor Plyer back in August, either Melissa Fields or my expertise came from a year-long effort in researching, identifying, verifying, and then documenting the factual event of this narrative. For it would be instructive to the group, and we are local historians with advanced history degrees. In conclusion, I look forward to the unfettered citizen insight into the results of this new working group, because democracy dies behind closed doors. After 91 years, we are only striving for a historically faithful and accurate account concerning the incidents involved in one of the most significant events ever to occur in Grayson County. To that end, I pledge to Dr. Hambrick the Bible verse that Dr. Donna Kumler, the resident author of a quintessential scholarly study on this tragic occurrence, what she admonished me with: come, let us reason together.
Thank you for your comments, sir. All right, that closes public